Yo, it's a lion's war, and the stakes are high. Lord Shadow steps up, he's ready to fly. Questions in the air, they start to rain. Can Lord clear his lane without any strain? How many deaths will Lord give out this war? He gotta maintain, find the best counter for a defender. Lord Shadow's skill, he's the ultimate contender. The map's laid out, it's a treacherous path, but Lord's got the skills, he's done the math. Checking the nodes, planning the attack, he's moving forward, there's no turning back.
Hey everyone, Shadow here, and welcome to another Marvel Contest of Champions video. So it's season 58, and this is war number 5. And we're going up against an alliance called Spartan mcoc 2. Let's see who I'm going to be fighting here. I'm on node 10, and of course it's Serpent. So if you guys saw my last war video, you know that this was, so far this war, my toughest defender. So it makes sense that I have to face him twice. Now, I haven't faced any of my previous defenders more than once. I think war 1 and 2 were solos completely. I think war 3, I may have died once. And then war 4, I died 3 times against this guy. And here I got to face him again, but that's fine. That is fine. Let me see. And yep, of course he's a rank 4, Sig 200 Serpent. Okay, and I'm going to go in with the same duo that I did last time and just try to fight better. Kushala and Odin, put the Odin pre-fights on her. The plan, and I didn't really stick to that plan last time, but the plan is going to be parry heavy, spam SP1. That's about it. Okay, we'll see how that works. All right, so let's get to the fighting. All right, so we're facing Serpent yet again. First time we're facing the same defender that we faced previously. And this fight went actually worse than the last one. And one of the reasons is that, one, I'm not really that good of a Kushala player. And 2, I don't really think that she is the best option for this node. Okay, but I got some advice before I did this fight. I've gotten advice since then, and we'll talk about that. But I got some advice on how to fight Serpent with Kushala. And I was told that I should focus on parry heavy. Now, I understand that because it's going to get me 2 of the blessings. Okay? And the more blessings she has, the better. All right? So this first fight, this first attempt, is me doing mostly parry heavy. Okay? But you're going to notice something that happens or doesn't happen very quickly. Look at his health. Okay? I want you to watch Serpent's health. So I'm, doing parry heavy, and spamming special 1 what I can when he has the power gain up. Okay? But I noticed that I am getting pushed back slowly. That was the deadly strategy, I guess, that Serpent had, and very effective, is to get me in that corner. And I couldn't push him back. And so I would always get cornered, and he would do a lot more damage to me. Okay? Now, what I'm noticing right away is that I'm not getting a lot of the ignition buffs on Serpent. You get that by doing your light attacks, right? And so when I do finally fire my special 1 off, there's not a lot of ignitions to convert, so I'm not doing a lot of damage. You can see, look at this. The fight has been going for a while, and look at Serpent's health. Now I'm in the corner. Look at the damage I'm taking. Okay. So I'm sitting here like, okay, I don't think that strategy is working very well. All right. So I'm getting my force charges and everything, you know, thanks to the Odin pre-fight and her incinerate immunity. But look at this. That was no damage. There was no incinerates. And then look at that. That happens, I don't know how many times to me. Okay? Really annoying. And see, I'm in the corner again. Look at all that health gone. All right? And I'm trying to parry, but it's dangerous because if you miss the parry, that's it. Okay? So here you go. I'm pushing him back, trying to get him off of me so that I'm not cornered. And that's difficult when he doesn't want to get pushed back, right? See? I'm in the corner again. So I'm looking at his health, and I'm like, wow, this went worse than my previous war. And I'm like, So I started to try to change up a little bit, but it's really too late to change up, right? So I said, all right, yeah, see, done. All right, now I just got done with my live stream, and I also got done catching up on the comments of my videos, and I saw that 2 people recommended a different way of fighting. They said to start with a special 3, maybe 2 special 3s, and then fight like normal, like I was doing, building up the buffs and heavy, parry, firing the special 1, all that good stuff. And so I said, okay, I had not heard anyone tell me that. Okay. And so I'm like, well, what does a special 3 do? And I was told you won't get cornered. So I'm like, all right, what is that? So we're going to take a look, and I'm going to leave the fighting, but I'm going to go over here to Khonshu's Ankh website. It's a site that is really good for Marvel Contest of Champions. If you have not checked that site out, you really need to. If I can remember, I will put a link to it in my description of this video. If I forget, leave a comment and I will put it there and pin the comment, and you'll be able to go here. But it has a wealth of information. I normally went to Aunt May or just look in game, but Aunt May hasn't been updated for a while. I'm not sure what's going on there with Mr. Slug. I don't want to say his actual name in case YouTube is listening. But Khonshu's Ankh is getting updated. It almost went down, but apparently people really appreciated what he had accomplished, and he was having financial difficulties, and they took care of it. All right, so we're over here. We're looking at Kushala's page. Okay. Now, my Kushala is not awakened. So her awakened ability, the pause for activating the blessing with the fewest stacks lasts an additional 1 to 5 seconds, okay? Kushala's damaging debuffs have a 2 to 5% chance for each active blessing to be replaced with matching passives with 20% increased potency. You kind of want to, if you're going to use her on this node, I would say you want her awakened. This chance is doubled against Cosmic Champions, of which Serpent is. This is her awakened ability, and mine isn't awakened. Okay, she doesn't benefit from the despair, but she reduces their regeneration rate. Okay. So those first 2 seem like they would be not necessary, but very, very helpful. Okay, against this Serpent on this node. All right, so let's look at her special 3, and you can check it in game or go to the site But her special 3 says gain 1 stack of each blessing and place an indefinite judgment on the opponent, increasing the duration of Kushala's future blessings by 4 seconds. And you can stack this up to 3 times. So the advice was to fire 2 special 3s in the beginning. So that's going to give me 8 seconds more on each of my blessings. Okay, that seems very helpful. And then for each active blessing, inflict a degeneration debuff, dealing, direct damage over 8 seconds, and that can stack. Okay, so I don't know how that stops me from getting cornered. Somebody explain to me, maybe one of the two. Let me give you guys your props here. Let me go here. I know one was Dr. Stone. Let me see. The other... Dr. Stone... Definitely remember. Yeah, so Dr. Stone said SP3 makes you not get cornered. Plus it increases the duration. And I don't understand how it keeps me from getting cornered. Okay, and then Bazooka also said, first of all, SP3, then normal fight. And then he just said, don't get cornered, right? So I don't understand how that will help me not get cornered. Or is that just something that I have to try to do? I don't know. Okay. So that was me trying to figure it out. All right. But honestly, I don't believe Kushala is the best option for this node. Okay. I just don't. I think the better option is Spiral, and she needs to be awakened. I do not have an awakened Spiral. If I did, I would take her because I think my Spiral is still rank 2. But I would rank her. That's how I do. I would rank her to rank 3 for this fight. Okay? But she wasn't awakened. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do if I see Serpent on this node again is I'm going to go to our war leader, who is also our guild leader, and ask him to swap out. Because I believe he has an awakened Spiral. He also may have an awakened Kushala and just be better at fighting Serpent with Kushala. But right now, give you a little bit of a history while we're watching me struggle with Serpent. But you had 2 kind of war design philosophies for your attackers. One was assigned paths. The idea was that you would take the same path every war, and you would learn your path, and you could develop your roster based on that path and the defenders that you see most often. So you got really good at fighting on your path, okay? And that works, and I love it, okay? That way, if I see a defender that I had some trouble with, but I know I have somebody that can really do well on that node, I can rank that one up, and then I'm ready, okay? So that is one. The other is a more fluid philosophy where it's a lot more work for your leaders and your planners, because they then have to look over the entire war, all the fights, all the paths, and assign people based on their rosters different paths or different fights. Okay, That is a lot more work for them, but it's easier on the attacker because you don't have to do anything. Everything is done for you. Okay. Now, I remember when I first joined this battle group, they were doing that where they would assign who you were to fight with, you know. So they were like, okay, use this attacker, and this attacker. Okay, and we're still doing that. We have a spreadsheet that gets updated, and we have, of course, the freedom to say, well, I'd rather use this attacker. I think this would be a better one. Okay, so they just lay out like a basic plan, a basic set of attackers, but you can still say, hey, you know, I'd rather use this person. But with this war, we've had assigned nodes. And a sign-in sheet went around, and I chose node 10 because I had good counters for node 10. I have Chilith, who is good for node 10. You have Deathless Thanos with the Odin synergy. In fact, with the Odin synergy, a lot of people do well on that node, but Chilith is good for it. Dazzler is good for it, in case I have a photon I got to deal with. Or somebody else. Onslaught is good with it. And see, these are champions that I have ranked up already. So I'm like, yeah. And you've seen me use them in previous wars, right? But against Serpent, I don't really have a really good counter. Kushala can do it, but as you can see, I'm not that good with her. If I do have to use Kushala again against a Serpent, then I will use the special 3 like I've been advised to and go from there. But I am going to ask my war leader to switch with me. And I don't even know what node he fights. He said that he usually waits till the end or toward the end so that he can swap in if need be. And so that's what I'm thinking of doing, okay? Because this was very expensive. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Every time I go in, I've been using my vulnerability boosts. I use them up. Just like that. 2 wars. Because he's not... I just don't think Kushala is a great attacker for him. At least not in my hands. Okay, now, if I fire the special 3, maybe that will help. Okay, it can't hurt, and it looks like it would help, you know, if my blessings last even longer. But it looks like I would need to do more combo attacks. But that power gain, oh goodness, is ridiculous. I would rather swap out. Now, come later today, the Titan crystal pool is changing, and I have been saving up. I have enough for, I believe, 6 Titans. I want all the new champions. There is a Cyclops. It would be a dupe, but you have a Koye who I want to awaken. She doesn't need it, but oh, she would be much better with it. And Spiral is still in there. I would love to get a dupe on Spiral. If I do, I may take her up, and I might be able to take Serpent on that node. And if you don't know what Spiral's Awaken ability does, that's where she can get reduction on Incinerate and Shock, which is, in fact, let me look here really quick for Spiral. There we go. For each fervor on Spiral, the durations of incoming Shock, Incinerate, and Poison are reduced by 5 to 10%. On that node, anytime you take shock or incinerate at a reduced, I think potency or what have you, you're going to get a force charge. So that seems awesome, right? And I think needed. Now, of course, I would still go in with the Odin synergy and put that Odin synergy on her, where she takes 90% reduced potency on the shock. But that seems really powerful for that node. So we'll see. That's the future. Okay. I don't know how many times I'm going to face Serpent on this node. But you can see here, I kind of got tired. You know, I have already used my invulnerability boost. The only problem with this strategy is that he's in your face and you're in the corner now. Look at that. He went right to another special 3. Ridiculous. I wish I had some kind of power steal like Spiral does. Okay. So, yeah. Spiral, definitely. All right. See, look at this, man. This fight is just horrible. All right. And I just did not look at all that damage. And see, I parried, so she regened a little bit. Okay. That one I'm always scared to parry, but look at the damage. That is insane damage. Okay. So I still love this war format. Okay. Still love it. I was never a fan of the ban system. There's no bans here. Can you imagine if they allowed bans? You know, they would put Serpent here and they would just ban Kushala, ban Spiral. Who else would they ban? Probably Kingpin. Or just ban Hood. I was facing another defender and I had someone recommend Hood synergy with Kingpin. And I'm like, ooh, what does that do? Well, that means he's going to be purifying like crazy. And he's going to be hitting like a truck. And I was like, ooh. Is that why they don't want Kingpin to come as a 7-star? Because he can do insane damage. And with that Hood synergy, I may end up trying that in the next war. We'll see. That might be fun. Anyway, you can see here, I'm just losing so much loyalty. And I'm not feeling that bad. Like I said, I'm still liking the format, but this is one of the drawbacks. If you don't have a good counter that you brought in for whoever you're fighting, you're going to have a bad time. And I've used more health potions and loyalty in just this war, this fight, than I think I've had all season. All last season. But again, that's because he's a tough defender and I did not have a good counter. It's gotten so bad that in when I'm doing arena, if I see him and I don't have a good counter, I'm just gonna quit out. Just make sure that I've won the other 2 fights and just quit that fight. Because it wastes time. If you don't have a good counter for him, it's just wasting time. I've done a few fights and he's awakened. Because if he's not awakened, you have a little bit of a better chance. Because at least you don't have to deal with the death immunity. But for most of the time in the arena, when he's awakened, I'm going to lose that fight. Because I don't have a good counter. You know, random champs. All right, so look at that. Here we go. Now here, all right, we did that. All right, here we go. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Hit him with it, hit him with it, hit him with it. Keep going, keep going. Oh, that death immunity. Hit him with this one. All right, yeah. And he still didn't die. Are you kidding me? That's why I need the indestructible. 1%, still wouldn't die. And finally, good grief, man. I was doing everything I could. I'm like, okay, come on, extend it. Come on, keep fighting, keep fighting. What? Ridiculous. All right, but anyway, we finally got through that fight. Hopefully I don't see him, and if I do, like I said, I got a plan, all right? So we'll be back in a moment, and you'll find out just how this war ended. And we're back, and as you can see, we actually won this war, despite the trouble that I had against that serpent. We won. And you can see that they did not fully explore. And guess what? That means somebody had a much worse time than I did, because they didn't even manage to get, their defender down. And I wish that we had a better summary so I could see who had the problem. I'm sure they were checking it in the Alliance leadership. But look at that. By 10 attack bonus, that's at least one defender. Look at that. Look at that. See, I looked at our defender kills before the war was over, and I was just like, yeah, we probably lost this one, but we didn't. All right. Shout out to our... Oh! There's a name right there. Look who's MVP number 2. Are you kidding me? So after the trouble that I had, I was considering this to be my worst performance ever. I did worse against this serpent than I did the last war against that serpent. And I got MVP. Shout out to Bullethead. Shout out to Sheep. And shout out to me. All right, that is going to do it, guys. Thank you all for watching. Take care. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about this video. And you all have a blessed day.
Lord's moves are slick, dexterity more heavily, he dodged quick. Class champ, Lord the master of the game, cosmic science, skill tech mute I claim. Arena and chill grind, that's how he roll. No stress, no drama, just on patrol. In the fight, he's swift, his tactics be tight. LordShaedow's in the arena, ready to ignite.